Okay, welcome back to Done with Adulting podcast. Jared, who would have usually said something by now, is not here today because as part of our 4-week guest marathon, we kicked Jared off for an episode and invited on two of my very good friends for a ladies only episode. So I am very excited. So I brought on my best friend Tiffany, who is just my dearest and one of my greatest friends. She is in my wedding. She's awesome. So she's on here. Say what up, Tiff.
What's up, everyone?
And then we also have another dear friend, Emily, who is our co-host's lovely wife, who we always talk about on the podcast. And I'm just happy that you got to come on now, Emily, because we need to hear your side of things.
Hi, everyone.
I'm so excited you guys are here. How are you? Okay, so this is what, going on week 3 or 4 of Corona land? I don't know what week it is, honestly.
Too far in.
Yeah, seriously. My job actually quarantined before everyone else did. So I've been working remote for this is almost week 5.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my God.
Week 5?
Yeah.
No, I did not know it. I thought you were on 3 like me.
No.
Oh, shit.
Wow. Yeah, I'm on week 3 and now I felt like this weekend I hit a new low. I downloaded TikTok. I've been playing word games.
Wait, what is TikTok like? Because I don't have that app.
So, wasn't there an old video app that was popular?
Vine.
Okay, yes. It's kind of like Vine, where there's just endless scrolling of videos and people do some crazy stuff. Some of them are just dumb, but others are really entertaining. And some of them, the dancing is actually really good. So I just found myself scrolling away, and then it was 20 minutes. Jared was like, oh my God, now you're going to want to do a TikTok.
I feel so old because I literally don't know anything about TikTok. And I actually feel like now I'm refusing to download it because I can just see them all on Instagram. Everybody posts their TikToks to their Instagrams.
Yeah, it actually looks hard though. My niece is obsessed with it. And
did you do it with her once?
Yeah, but no. I wasn't
did you
really
see?
I wasn't synchronized. I was just doing crazy stuff in the background.
Yeah. How does it does the music play and then you're dancing to the music? I don't get actually how someone makes a TikTok. I really have no idea. I feel like I sound so old. Am I the only one?
I don't really know. No, I don't know.
Okay.
I think it plays though in sections. You almost record and then stop. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, so it's but the thing is, I don't know if it speeds up the music, but something about it feels faster. So you're trying to hit the beats, and it's way faster. It's way faster than it's supposed to be. Seriously, so you just end up looking crazy.
That sounds
so
hard.
Funny.
Did you see the one though? You know how everyone's doing the savage dance? Did you see the one of that family and they were going in a circle? It was a family of 6 or something, and they were rotating and doing the dance. It was this.
I probably saw it.
I'm going to DM it to you guys because it was truly hysterical. It was this cute little it's this white family. You don't even think they're going to have rhythm.
Moves.
And then they literally kill it. It was so funny.
Some of them are good, but I feel like I need to give it a break.
Yeah, this week was a little bit of a killer for me. But I feel also, for me at least, adulting is so much harder in social distancing. In some ways worse than others. I feel I'm saving a lot of money, especially on gas. But also I'm just sitting around thinking about all the shit I'm going to have to do when this is over and trying to get a head start on it. And it's maddening.
Yeah, I've definitely saved a ton of money, but it's making me because I'm bored, I've literally bought 6 bathing suits. I just keep buying things. Every day I have a new package and I'm
yeah, that's my problem. We've been doing tons of house projects, but because of it, I'm just buying things all the time and I don't think I'm saving money at all.
Yeah. everyone keeps saying like, oh, like we're entering a recession, like people are being conservative with their money. And I just feel like that is not like
Not
I've
me.
been online
No.
shopping. I don't understand how people can't online shop right now. It's like the only thing there is left to do.
Literally.
To buy
Mhm.
something that you could possibly wear in a couple months
Hopefully.
when you can go outside again.
For the trip that you canceled.
Right.
Like, I don't understand. It's too much. And then, like, how is everybody? So, like, this is what I really wanted to ask you guys. How is everybody doing with, like, fiancés, husbands? Like, how is it really going? Because for me personally, I think it's going fine. Um, I am a little concerned about if this goes on another 4 weeks, but I don't know. I just want to hear what's going on with you guys because I feel like I have to like be very specific about like going away somewhere for an hour, doing something on my own, like creating space inside of my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's the first time that I'm looking back at the end of this weekend. I was like, oh my gosh, we've been attached at the hip for now like a month, like working out
Yeah.
together, going everywhere together. And it wasn't until I took a drive actually to my gym because they were renting us equipment for a live class this coming week that I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a half an hour that I've just been like driving
By
alone.
yourself.
I'm like, this is so strange. But we're making it. So I'm like, all right, we're
No, we want to hear, all the listeners probably want to hear exactly how annoying Jared is in quarantine. Because on Twitter, he's doing a lot of complaining about his haircut, going to see his barber and not being able to go to the gym. Lots of Twitter complaining.
Jared is crazy in general. And so I feel like in a heightened scenario like this, he's talking about buying a heavy bag to be able to box in our garage. He's just been all over the place. Like,
yeah, he's losing it.
Yeah, he's losing it a little bit, but every now and then we reel him back in. It's okay.
Oh my God. I can't. He's very dramatic. He's like, on the last episode he recorded, he's like, well, you keep scaring me because you said everybody's going to get it. And now I just think I'm going to get it. So I'm freaking out. And he was like, he had like a mini panic attack. I was like, everybody calm down. It's fine.
See, that makes sense because he brought gloves from work. He brought a hazmat suit back from work. Yes. A full hazmat suit is in our living room just waiting for him to be able to really...
No way.
Yeah.
Did he bring only one for himself? Did he
just
bring
one for himself?
You?
No. He assumes I will be okay.
That is hilarious.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. What about you, Tiffany? What is your household culture like right now?
Well, I am in an apartment, so it's literally like if one of us isn't in the bedroom, we're in the living room, and then it's like
there's only 2 places to be.
Yeah. Literally.
Barry,
he doesn't have a lot of like work from home leeway with his job, so this is his first time being like fully immersed, whereas me, like I'm allowed to work from home 2 days a week automatically, so like I'm kind of used to it. Like I usually stand at like the island and I'm like typing, and he like I don't know, it's weird. He likes to be like super comfortable, and I just like can't be overly comfortable while I'm like working. so he's like in the sofa, like literally lounging or like laying on the couch and like
watching
typing.
a show and working.
Yeah. I'm like, how are you possibly getting anything done? Like I need to be like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I can like get things done. But it's been interesting. The first 2 days we were like going at each other, and I was like, we're done. We're not going to make it.
Yeah. Like,
and then after that, it was kind of like, okay, like, I guess we can do this. And we've been fine ever since those first 2 days.
Oh my God. That's so good.
We were struggling to find a show we both wanted to watch. Now we have a couple, which is like getting us through. But like I'm a show binger and Terrence is not a show binger. So I just want to like watch 10 in a row and be done with it. And he wants to watch like 2 and then stretch and then do some push-ups and like go, some chores and then come back 7 hours later. And it drives me crazy because I just want to watch it from
the whole thing. So what is the compromise? What ends up happening?
Well, I have some shows that he's like, you need to just watch one of your Asia shows for the filler until we can come back to the show that we're both watching.
Yeah.
So I have like these 3 backup shows that he doesn't watch that I can binge.
Yeah.
until he's ready to start the show again. But, we're going to be running out of stuff. We're going to have to start digging up old movies and shit like that, honestly.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to ask you guys though is, are there any, so like now I feel like that we're home so much, like what, for example, I'm never home. Like Terrence works from home all the time before this. So he does like a lot of the stuff around the house, like with the dog and just like shit like that. Now that I'm home, I feel like the weight of the world of household chores is weighing on me because I feel bad that I don't normally get to help. So I'm like, okay, let me help, like do stuff with the dog and like do all these things. And I am tired. I am tired of it. And I was like, does anyone else like, I was like, there has to be other people that have, maybe your dynamic and like with household chores has changed because everybody's home now. So like, we're all just puttering around. Like, what are the expectations? Is it a loose cannon or are people still sticking to their regular things? This is what I need to know because I don't know if I should be feeling this tired from chores.
We've actually been balancing it pretty well. He typically works an hour later than me. So when he gets home, like off the metro, I've already like cooked dinner, done a load of laundry, like cleaned up. Yeah. So now that he's here, like he usually cooks every Wednesday, and now it's like, okay, you'll do like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Like,
so you feel like you have a little bit of a weight lifted off your shoulders.
Lifted. And
wow,
like
that must be nice.
Yeah, it was nice. He was like mopping and like cleaning, and I was like, okay.
Look at you with that mop.
Right? Like, okay.
Oh, that is funny.
I feel like we've been keeping kind of the same norms, but I'm the planner. So I must be driving him crazy because we will finish one meal and then I'll be like, so we should plan the next one. How are we going to do this? Who's doing this? Okay, who's doing that?
Right.
He's probably about to lose his mind because of it. Like I'm just like always racing.
That is funny. You guys have been doing so much around the house though. I got a mini FaceTime tour yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yes. I don't know where you were. You must have been there.
Like
I don't
doing
know.
it?
Doing what?
Like DIY?
Like fixing up the house and stuff?
Sometimes I feel like some projects, like you get into a groove. And that's when I feel like actually if there's a certain section where we can like divide and conquer, you get into your own individual groove. I feel like when we're right up on top of each other, like painting, I'm pretty sure Jared was like, walk away. Like he
Are you serious?
Well, I'm particular and I'm like, oh, well, can you do the brush stroke that way? Like, I feel like I'm particular and he's like, give it a rest. So
yeah,
with house stuff, I feel like we need like a good balance of some things together and then some things where he's doing one thing and I'm doing something else. And like, we just tackle it. I don't know.
I definitely think like, I was just thinking about like, let's say Corona Land goes on and on forever for the next 6 months or something absurd, right? I was like thinking to myself, I was like, I think women are more mentally suited for quarantine, like warfare, whatever that means, than men. Like, don't you think that we women just have like, I feel like if this were to go on and people will start like snapping, like losing their mind, going crazy in the house, it's going to be men first.
I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Perry, he literally walks in. He'll be in the living room for 2 seconds. And he walks in, he's like, what are we going to do today? I'm like, what?
Same thing.
We can't do anything. Like, what do you want us to do? He's like, I cannot continue to do this.
Yes, I feel
he can't do it.
I feel like if the coronavirus is really going to like, you know how there's all those people saying it's going to like take out it's like the clearing of the population. It's going to take out the weak or some bullshit like that. I feel like there's going to be more women left over. Like if I had to place a bet on it, women would survive.
Yeah, I agree. Except that I also feel like, and maybe this is just Jared. Jared can really like being by himself to
Yeah.
the point that like I don't think it bothers him to not see a soul for a long time. And
Yeah.
I start getting like socially crazy. I'm like, I need to see someone or like
Yeah.
talk. I don't know.
I didn't think about that. That's
like
true.
he has an endurance. I respect it. I don't know where it comes from, but I feel like he just can be on his own.
I think that we are similar. I think that Jared and I are similar in that because I have been doing literally fine with not seeing anybody. I don't even want to. I still don't even like. I obviously FaceTime, like Tiffany and I FaceTime. We check in and like I had a Zoom call with some of my friends, but like it's like. Can we? I'm still into scheduling FaceTimes. Like I'm not. I don't even want to FaceTime people. I'm like, this is great. Nobody can ask me to do anything because I can't. The only downfall is everybody knows you're at home doing nothing. So if you don't pick up your phone.
Right.
Yep. And do you like talking on your phone?
No, I don't want to talk on my phone. And that's why like people kept calling me every single day. And I was like, okay, honestly, I can't. Like if we did not talk on the phone every single day pre-corona, we don't need to talk on the phone every single day post-corona. Like I do want to like check in on you and see how you're doing, but like first of all, we can just start with a text, and then if we want to check in via video, let's like plan it on Saturday or something. That's kind of where I am with interaction right now. I'm chilling.
So, but you can also do your work from home, right? So and the same thing, all three of us can. So I also feel like there's a mental difference right now between people that literally cannot have a work week. And so therefore, like I was thinking about the same thing even with our house projects. Like now that I think about it with you guys, I was like, I have this running to-do list that we can always find a new project. But if we were back in our old apartment, like I don't know how I would spend my time the way that I am now. And the same thing for people that like aren't able to do their work remotely. That's who I noticed being like, should we do a chat midday? True. And I'm like, no, I'm working. Like,
that was another reason I didn't want to take calls because like during the day I'm on the phone all day for work, literally. At least that's what it feels like. Wait, so I'm like, please don't call me.
Is it the same for you guys? Like since this complete 100% remote workplace, like I literally, kid you not, I have 1 hour a day where I can actually sit down and like get work done because now every single thing that could even have been an email is now a call. Like I have constant calls.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a lot of calls.
Overwhelming amount of calls. So many calls.
Like more tiring.
Yes. And sometimes, and you know, people are just calling you sometimes just to hear somebody else's voice. So they're like calling to ask you the question. You're like, yep, okay, I'll take care of it. And then they're like, yeah, so how's it going over there? You're like, oh my God, it's going the same as it's going for you. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, it's so much. It really is too much. So I had to I was like, no, thank you to the phones. I just can't I know there are just so many people out there who aren't working. So I'm obviously grateful to be working.
Yeah.
But it's still like small businesses. Like I saw a bunch of restaurants in like Brookline or in other places in Massachusetts that like might not open again. And they've been like in the neighborhoods for like 20 years and stuff. I'm just like,
that's really sad.
It's so sad. Yeah.
It's really sad. Are they still doing because like in DC, you can still order and pick up for every restaurant. You just like can't sit down.
Yeah, they're still doing that, but I feel like people aren't even I don't know. I feel like I know a lot of people
taking advantage
who
of
taking
it.
Out. Yeah, I do it because I specifically my house will be on Friday and Saturday we'll order from one of our favorite places or whatever. But I feel like not everyone's doing that. People are actually just trying to save money, maybe buying everything in grocery stores also.
Yeah, I also feel like if they make a lot of their profit from the bar, then I know in DC you can order. Can you order drinks to go in DC?
Yeah, so they allow you to order liquor now, which is crazy.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that in Mass at this point. So I also feel like for a lot of those places, no one is ordering drinks anymore. So even if takeout is booming, there's still a huge difference in what they're able to do, you know, just based off that.
And they're not even a lot of the restaurants that are doing it have smaller menus, like just specific menus for this.
Mm-hmm.
But our local Chinese food restaurant that we literally go to every single week Tiffany, you had it. Remember how good
Oh
it
my
was?
God. I was literally just like, you don't understand. I have yet to find a good Chinese place in DC. Like, I
They
cannot
don't
find it.
exist. They don't
Oh,
exist.
It's so gross.
so painful.
It
So that
is.
place that you had, Tiffany, they know us
Mhm.
because we spend so much money there. The owner, literally, my mom texts him because they're on a text basis, and we got takeout from them the other day, and he sent a ginormous thing of Mai Tai with our takeout,
Oh
and
my
he
Oh,
put a
gosh.
note on it, and it said like "Shake it, babies." He was trying to tell us to shake it up before we pour it out. It was hilarious, and that's what we get when we go there, Mai Tai. So he knows, and he sent a big thing of it.
that is so nice.
is
Leave
so
it to
awesome.
Monet to have friends like that just
Right?
like
Come
That she's
on.
in
follow her.
text
Yeah.
relationship with.
Literally ridiculous. We've had so many family parties there. He thinks like we probably keep them in business.
Right. It was delicious, though. I
It
will
was
say that.
so good.
So
Oh my
good.
god, it was so good. And then you know what else I was thinking about too that is wild? I could not imagine either being like pregnant, on the verge of having a baby, just have had a baby like right now. Like what if right now, if I don't think actually I don't know. We could have a listener who's like about to give birth, who knows. But right now, like if you're like 30 weeks along or some shit.
No, it's
Yeah.
terrifying. I was talking to one of my friends, and thankfully California hasn't implemented the whole like no one can come in the delivery room with you. They allow one person, but like in New York, they're not like first time moms aren't even going to be allowed to have their husband or significant other or whatever in the delivery room. They literally have to give birth by themselves.
I would
be
give birth in
freaking
my
out.
house. I would try to give birth in my house.
Get
For
a last
sure.
minute
I'm
doula.
right. I'm for sure having a water birth. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give that birth.
set
I'll
the
give
tub
birth to
up.
that baby right in the tub. That sounds fucked up, but like I'm serious. Like that's crazy. But the scary part is like surviving childbirth. Childbirth is barely survivable when there's no coronavirus and it's just a regular day. Like not barely
Yeah.
survivable, but like people die from that shit a lot. That's
It's
scary to
so
me.
crazy.
To have to like follow the news and be checking in with your doctor just to find out if your spouse can be in the room is just like an added stress to all of that.
Stress,
so-
yo.
Yeah.
I honestly, if there's anybody out there experiencing this, I'm so sorry because I cannot fathom. And then you're just like, okay, it's a pandemic. Like, a pandemic could literally happen at any time. Not only is it a pandemic right now, but like, there's tornadoes happening in like
Oh my gosh.
in the Midwest. Like, it really makes you think, and you're just like, at what point is it even a good time to have a child? Because for all I know,
But seriously,
for all I know, I could literally plan to have a child in 2021, and in 2021, it's the zombie apocalypse. Like at
exactly.
this rate.
And the thing is, like, it's one of those things where like people are trying to balance importance of like literal natural disasters. like do I prepare?
Which one to freak out about more?
Like it's hurricane season's coming. It's actually predicted it's going to be horrible. Like, do I prepare for hurricane season or do I potentially get coronavirus? Like, it's crazy. I like don't even know how to fathom it because just like what I do for work, there's too much going on. Like everyone needs to just like pause.
I just hope it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. And I feel like on top of that, everyone talking about the like impact on the economy, whether we're headed towards like how bad the outcomes are going to be, is just like that next thing on top that then people are like, okay, well then what do I expect next? And how bad is this going to be? Do I have job security? Like it's just, I feel like that's just that like next perspective on it too.
I know. The other thing I was thinking about too, which I wanted to ask you guys about was, so like obviously there are people who are losing their jobs, like some 2-parent households, like both parent has lost a job or like is furloughed or whatever the situation is, or maybe like one parent has lost a job. And then I saw that thing on Twitter that was like, I said this last episode, but it was just somebody on Twitter saying that at the end of social distancing, there's going to be like a lot of babies next year and also like a lot of divorces or whatever. So I was thinking about that. And I was like, honestly, like the sad thing is that's probably true because especially when people like lose their jobs, it causes like such strain on relationships. And then I was thinking like there might be relationships where people are like, for so long, like the man was the breadwinner of the relationship or the person who brought in more money, and now it's the woman, or even like vice versa, which, like, for me, doesn't really matter because I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it matters who makes more money, honestly. That's just my personal opinion. But I feel like there are definitely dynamics or people out there that like would feel a certain type of way if like their wife was making more money than them, which is like the most archaic thing ever, but it's definitely a thing. I'm like thinking about how that's going to be, how that's changing like people's entire relationships basically.
I think that that's the idea of like expectations. People just have them from how they are raised, from what they see. And so they expect things to be a certain way. And so I think there's kind of two things there. If Corona, like not talking Corona, just regular everyday life, to have a spouse or someone surpass you or to have your life look different expectation wise for who's earning than what you want it to be. I feel like that's one thing, but then also to have that like ripped out from under you because of something like this, like a pandemic where you're, you know, you do have job security and then all of a sudden that changes and you're relying on your partner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to have to, I don't know, navigate that.
And I do feel like because a lot of us, especially just based on like the economy and how, like all the debt we've acquired just for life, I think just our generation in general, like we have like an unsurmountable like amount of stress and anxiety built up about like not being okay. And then also we are very like, I know people say that like our generation is lazy and like doesn't like to work hard, but I tend to think of us as being like more like strong and like we're more egotistical in the fact that like we're always going to figure it out. And I think in these circumstances where like you literally like there's nothing you can do. You can't blame anyone. You can't, it's not in your control. You can't do X, Y, and Z and all of a sudden change your outcome. Like it's literally like people are just dealing with it. So I think that is one of the biggest things that's like straining a lot of relationships. And like it could be even family relationships or like
I know
relationships with your significant other, because now people like, what if I'm not okay even though we're dating? Like what if I'm not okay saying like, hey, can you spot me X, Y, and Z? Like now I'm going to my family and I'm like, hey dad, trying to give me like $500. Yeah, it's changing a whole bunch of stuff for everyone.
Yeah. I feel like relationships too have come a long way though, where man, maybe that is just like millennials speaking, but I do believe that more people in our generation are open to relationships that have different breadwinner norms or shared responsibilities at home or parenting. Like I just think that we're a generation where, to your point, like we all feel like we need to also make it and work. And so I feel like maybe some of that also changes with our generation, which I think is a positive. I agree. I don't care where money comes from, as long as you as a team can make build your life into something great.
I know.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. Cause I totally feel like it like doesn't matter who makes more money. Like I totally feel like it's like an equal partnership. Cause you're going to outweigh some aspects of the relationship and he's going to outweigh some aspects of the relationship. But at the end of the day, like it's going to balance each other out one way or another.
Yeah. I feel like I wouldn't, if one person, like if my significant other made a shit ton more money than me, I'd be like, cool. Like as long as I am still working and like making also money for myself, like I'm good. But like on the flip side of that, if I was the one in the relationship that was making a shit ton of money, I'd still be like, man, I'm kind of lit. Like I'm making all this money and like we're chilling. You know what I mean? Like I would be like actually that's probably why I try to work 75 bajillion jobs. Cause like I feel like
You
I
are the
just
queen
want,
of hearts.
Yeah.
I just literally need to have as like enough money to support my lifestyle, which right now I do not. So I would like my future lifestyle post Corona to involve a lot of traveling, and I just like need to set myself up for that.
So, but there's not caring where money is like coming from, but then also decision making in relationships. And so I also think that for some people, they associate if you are the top earner in a relationship, you must be also setting these rules, or you should be controlling this or that. And I also don't really think that that's the case either.
Don't we also just secretly feel like in heterosexual relationships, women are always secretly making the decisions? Have you ever heard that saying that we can only speak for our relationships, obviously, but you know that saying that was like, men can wear the pants, but women pick them out or something, like, or like the man is the head of the house, but the woman is the neck or something.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure that's in My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
Definitely, got to me.
I don't know. I feel like with me and Perry, like he's okay making decisions like when it's necessary, but like he also loves reassurance. So there will never be a situation where Perry like doesn't check in to see if I'm on the same page with him. He just needs to know that like
we're on the same page. Okay, that is hysterical. Terrence is like that too. He'll be like, I just want to run this by you to make sure. I feel like, though, Emily, correct me if I'm wrong, Jared is the opposite.
I was gonna say the day that Jared says I feel like I should run this by you. But we are both similar in that we're like, oh no, well, this is how I assessed it, and so I think this is where we're going. Like,
see, I wish I had a little more of that in me, because I'm still the same way. Like, I'm hesitant to pull the trigger. Like, I'll go to Perry, like, should I do this?
Yeah.
Even though in my head I'm like, I should definitely do this. Like,
I definitely make impulsive decisions without mentioning a word at all. Like, I'm pretty sure us getting a dog was a totally impulsive, not really talk through that much decision. I do it all the time, even though sometimes it's just like subconscious. I don't even mean to. I just think of something and then I'm like, that's a good idea. And then I just fucking do it. And then, and then I tell Terrence, I'm like, I did this thing earlier. He's like, what? You did what? I'm like, was that not a good idea?
That would be crazy in our household. I feel like we both know our boundaries in that, and then we have to like stick to the plan of like, no, this follows into this rule, so we need to tell each other about it, because otherwise we'd both go off. We'd be like, just making calls everywhere,
making things up. No, I try. Terrence is better than me, but I try. It's mostly about like, things like dogs, and although if it were up to me, we would have more dogs, but obviously we do not. So.
I was about to say a dog is a big thing.
It was more like I want a dog, and Terrence was like, okay, cool. Like, didn't actually think I was going to do any research or follow through. Like, just thought I was talking out the side of my neck. And then I found one, and he's like, wait, you're doing this actually? I'm like, yep. He's like, I don't. And then he goes, and then he's like, a few days go by, and he was like, I guess this is like actually happening, because I kept having phone calls with the breeder. And he was like, what is the plan? Like, I kept bringing home dog stuff. He's like, I need to know what the plan is. So I told him, and he's like, okay, just so we're on the same page here, I don't want to have any financial obligation to this dog. This has nothing to do with me. And like, I'm out. And I was like, okay. And he thought that, I think he thought that was going to change my mind.
I remember you calling me and you were like, I'm about to get a dog. You were like, but I don't know if Terrence is like with it. And then you told me that he said that. And then next thing I know, you had a dog. I was like, but he loves the dog.
He loves the dog. Yeah. But then the other day, I swear to God, it was so funny. I literally almost threw up. I was laughing so hard. And we were looking through old pictures because it was the dog's birthday. And I pulled up the picture of the day that we went and got her. And I was like, oh, look, remember when and got Sophia because we had to drive to New Jersey. We drove like 2 hours to go get her, and the whole way there, Terrence was like, "What is happening?" So I was like, remember we went to go get Sophia that day? And he was like, yeah, I remember, like it was yesterday. I was thinking to myself, do I need to break up with this girl? I was like, you were that scared? He was like, I just like was scared that you would just go and do other random fucking things. I was honestly dead. I don't know how we got all the way to that story, but that was really hilarious the other day. Oh boy, that is funny. Emily, I also need to ask you about. Clearly, I'm asking all the things I want to ask about Jared while he's not here.
Jared.
One thing we always talk about on the podcast is Jared's body dysmorphia disease.
Oh. It's real. It is real.
Wait, he has body dysmorphia?
Definitely.
Emily thinks he does because we've done now several episodes about like health and nutrition. And last week we had a nutrition, or 2 weeks ago, we had a nutritionist on. And he was asking her about his donut eating habit. And she was like, it doesn't sound like it's that bad. You're only having one donut a day. And he was going into all this doom gloom about how he's going to get diabetes. And then I was like, Emily thinks he has body dysmorphia because he talks about how fat he is. And then he's on Instagram with his muscles and his abs.
Right.
And he's like, but it's doughy. It feels doughy when you touch it. And I'm like, Jared, what the fuck are you talking about?
The amount of times he's like, oh, but my gut. Oh my God, my gut. Like, I just feel like he looks at himself and it just is very different from
what it actually
is.
Which is crazy.
He's really so fit. So I'm like, you have a fit, great lifestyle. I will say back a long time ago, we both eat pretty like balanced, like healthy nutrition, like treating yourself, but nothing crazy either. Yeah. But there were times that like way back in the day when Jared would have like 7 Coronitas or whatever those little like fruit punch drinks would be or whatever, that I'd be like, Jared, those are so sugary. You need to like cool it. Like, and I think maybe I struck a little bit of fear because I'd be like, listen, sugar intake is real. Like just.
Oh my God, he says that all the time.
But I know.
Man.
I noticed it might have,
You might have put it in his head.
Yeah, but now I'm like, well, no, we each have like treats and this and that, and we eat really healthy. We eat a lot of vegetables.
He literally claims that he only drinks coffee so that he can put a whole bunch of sugar and like flavoring syrup in it. He's like, I don't even like coffee. I just drink it for the sugar.
Yeah, I don't think that he likes the taste of coffee, but he does like, I don't know, like milkshakes or like a fun drink.
Like a colada.
And it doesn't help that I'm like, ooh, we're going. Oh, I'm going to grab a Starbucks. Oh, I'm going to grab a Dunkin'. So then he's like, ooh, me too, but can I get it as like an ice cream cone, which is basically like what he orders. So I don't think he wakes up being like, oh, I need the 4 packets of sugar and the cream and the this, but I feel like he's like, oh, everyone's getting a drink. I'll also get that
sugar.
Yeah.
I should have had the listeners send me all the secret Jared or all the questions all the things they want to know about Jared's secret home life. For the ladies only episode.
If listeners, if you have suggestions to help him get over it, I am open to them. Because I'm like, as we get older, like both of our bodies are going to change. So like we need to be easy on each other.
I can't even think about that. This is really honestly going to sound terrible, but the thought of that makes me, I would only say this on an exclusive ladies only episode, but the thought of that makes me want to literally never have a child, which is absurd. Like I understand when I hear that out loud, it sounds ridiculous. But for some reason, I can't I just know things drastically change and the fear of that is crippling. It is crippling.
The unknown. It's the unknown because no one talks about it.
Because no one ever tells you what it's actually like, except our friend Annie. I am able to ask her a lot of things. So I feel a little bit better about it. But I don't know. I just it's scary to me.
But I feel like, I don't know. I'm obsessed with kids. I've wanted kids since literally 3 years
yeah.
ago. If I could have had 4 kids by now, I would have. But I feel like you got to think about yourself. Like you're saying, like you're scared, you're nervous, you're scared of the unknown, whatever. But at the end of the day, you know you're like a motivated person. So if you were unhappy with what you were like feeling or looking like, you would do something about
Just
it.
change it. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not the type to just sit there and bask in your uneasiness.
Yeah.
Or like,
Like-
no, some days I bask.
Yeah, but some days balance. Everything's in moderation.
exactly.
I feel like the norms of your routine just like get like the extreme. So like I skip the gym. I should probably expect that I would probably skip the gym a little bit more. It is what it is. So like, I don't know. I feel like that's just the nature of it. But if you're already active, then you'll just stay active.
It's still a lot.
I think you'll be okay. I'm like hype. This is girls only, so I'm just gonna say it. I'm hyped to have a baby. I'm hyped to have a baby because you don't understand. When I get boobs for one,
yeah,
like
you're gonna be lit.
Yeah,
I'm lit.
And then they won't go anywhere. You'll always have them.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Tiffany's been
like,
trying to make a pregnancy pact with me since like 2015, and I was like, I'm not making a pregnancy pact with you until like, because she would be like, let's do it for like the next year. I'm like, no, girl, it's not happening. But now I think we actually have a reasonable pregnancy pact. If you want to join, Emily,
I'll join.
Wait, when is it? Oh, it's for.
When is it?
Would be for after Tiffany's wedding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when is it?
August 2021, which means
I
actually think that's reasonable.
Yeah, that's not
I
hard.
think so. The only person who would be rushing it is me. I'd be getting married and then pregnant within the next month, which let's do it.
Well, I was gonna say, Jared and Emily, are you past 6 months? Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. Past 6 months.
You probably get the most questions before we get the questions because you're already married and now everyone just wants you to have children yesterday.
Yeah, we get questions all the time. And I also I have this, I don't care. Personally, I'm like, okay, it is what it is. I'll just tell you like, oh no, we're not in a rush. Like I would be perfectly happy at any time starting to build a family, but also we've chosen to spend our time currently just doing other things like focusing on our house projects, being with friends, traveling, thinking about some of the places we want to go to. We have a lot of weddings. So doing things like that. But I also know a lot of people that I'm really close to who those kinds of questions can be really sensitive to them. That, you know, if you're not in someone's inner circle, to ask someone like, oh, so what's your timeline is like really stressful. And so that getting to know that versus my personality, who's like, meh,
whatever.
People don't have the right intention. Like it is what it is something that kind of woke me up to the idea that like you should be more mindful of that. Like maybe there's never a good way to ask that.
just mind your business.
Don't
stay out of it.
Just don't do it. It's simple.
Oh my God. Has anything changed since you've been married? Like
yeah.
Asia's coming up. I'm coming next year. Any pointers?
Any pointers?
Ooh.
We'll take any and all pointers.
I don't think anything changes in your relationship after, but I do feel like my only pointer is like for that like month before and after your wedding, like when you're on, if you're going on a honeymoon, just like literally live it up. I feel like Jared and I felt like we were like on fire. We were like suddenly millionaires. We were just like having a ball at all times. And it was so much fun. And so I feel like that would be my only like tip is just like live in that moment because that is the best thing ever. And you always talk about some of those memories and stuff. Yeah. But after that, I feel like, life goes back to normal. Like, I think we've always treated each other as if we're like a team forever. And so that's the only thing that I feel like you're like heightened to is like, okay, well, what moves are we making? Like, what is that plan? So that's the only thing in my perspective.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. That is good.
Basically, you guys already have good, like, solid team ships with your significant others.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. Maybe it's the former student athlete in us. We need a team.
Right.
We need a teammate.
Right.
We need a co-captain. We don't need a freshman.
Yeah. You don't need a water boy.
Right. We don't
Exactly.
need a water. Oh, that was a good one.
Do you guys get asked about having kids consistently?
Not consistently, but it's more like, I mean, I think about it a lot because even though I'm scared of it, I think about it a lot because I just feel like kids are a young man's game. And so like, I really don't want to be like, I really do want to have kids before I don't even know. Cause I forget how old I am sometimes, but like, I would like to be done having kids before I'm 35, like done. So
how many kids are you trying to have?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's like some days I think of like, I'm like, oh, 3 could be cool. But then I'm like, other days I'm like, oh, what if the first one comes and I just can't, I have nothing left to give. And then I'm like, what if there's twins involved? I go into these spiral of like, I have no idea. So I don't know. Like I'm ready to just like go with the flow and like let God, Jesus take the wheel. And another girls only point that I just want to make is one thing that I'm really excited about post marriage is to not, I guess this answers your question about when I'm going to have kids, but like I would like to no longer have to put medication in my body to control birth after I
Yeah.
like, I feel like I've been on birth control for literally, this is so personal, for literally ever, like whenever, whether it was high school or like when I was in college, like I don't even remember. And I'm like, I don't even know what my body feels like with, like, I just want to feel like a regular.
You're definitely not alone there. I think that so many people at our age right now are that first wave that have been taking medication for this long. And isn't it like, I don't know if this is with you guys too, but being at a point where also you learn from other people's experiences and all of a sudden you realize how many people in your life were really surprised about how their bodies reacted going off of that medication or transitioning to that, like blows my mind to the point that is what I'm like, oh my God, you don't even know your body. Like, what?
You don't know anything. That's what I'm afraid of. So I'm like, there's obviously ways that you can be careful without having to take medication, which is like what will happen until we're ready. But it's still like obviously riskier than if we're on it, which is like at that point, I'm like, I don't even care. I'm married. Like if whatever God wants to happen is going to happen, whether I'm trying to prevent it or not. So like, fuck it. Let's just ride the wave.
Exactly.
And like, maybe I can cleanse my body in the meantime. Like God forbid I'm not medicated for once in my life.
Yeah.
How did I get there? I don't remember, but somebody asked me about, how many kids I wanted. I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
As I say, you shouldn't ask people. I'm like, so how many kids? Let's talk.
I'm scared of having girls though, because I'm scared of making myself in a small, crazy child form.
Oh, they'll be so cute.
No, I can't.
Like, I can't wait. Like, my family is so big and there's so many like little kids just running around at all times. It makes me feel like left out almost that I don't have kids. Seriously, Perry talks about it all the time. He's like, the only reason you want kids is because there's like literally 6 kids under like 8 like already. And I have like this like unwarranted stress on myself about it. Well, one of the things I'm super excited about is, aren't you so excited, like, their personalities? Like,
I also am like, I think, Emily, you've said this to me before in person, but we were laughing about, like, my kids' friends are going to be my friends' kids.
Definitely.
Yes.
I don't want to have friends with random people that my child met at school and now I have to be friends with their parents. Like, I don't want to do that. I just want...
I feel like that happens in like a slow wave. Like I'll take up like 1 to 2 from a daycare, but like the weekends being with our friends and our friends' family, like that's where the magic happens. Like
exactly. Our kids are gonna have so many like cousins that aren't real cousins.
Yeah.
like that's your aunt. Exactly.
All be the same.
Exactly.
Jared's gonna listen to this and then be like, "Whoa,
oh my God, are you kidding me? A pregnancy pack."
He's like, you're
Asia.
never potting again.
Yeah.
We literally used to talk about this. We were like, we have to have kids at the same time so they can be on the same AAU team, so they can play basketball together. They can have the same coach. Like, we literally talked about this. They're like, they're gonna be New England Crusaders. They're gonna be on the blue
Stop, New
team.
England Crusaders. Throwback. Shout out to the New England Crusaders.
Literally.
So yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Oh my gosh. This is so fun. I wish I could kick Jared off more often. We're just kidding, Jared. We obviously wish you were here. So I guess I'm going to be breaking the surprise. But so after this, next week, Jared will get to do a guys only episode, which I'm very nervous about.
Oh my Lord.
I'm very nervous about it because obviously they're going to just talk about whatever they want, just like we did today. And I don't know. I depending on who he brings on, it's going to be very interesting.
So has he shared like an organization of thought? Because the only reason why I say it is him, you know how all of our friends are Zooming and stuff on the, him and his friends Zoomed, and if that was the podcast,
they were talking about topics.
You guys are in trouble. No, it was like so many tangents and things and people doing different things.
But was it funny?
I'm going to pray for the best. It was fun to watch, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. So I'm nervous about that. I don't know what they're going to say.
They'll be good.
I feel like it'll be good.
I feel like it'll be good, too. It'll hopefully be funny and, like, hopefully not too inappropriate. Hopefully I don't have to cut anything out.
No, just put a disclaimer. Like, this may be rated R.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on. This was really fun.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope you guys get to come back sometime, maybe for another girls only episode. But yes, so happy you were able to come today. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands, stay quarantined, all that jazz. All right. So if you guys like this episode, you can subscribe, rate, and review. You can also follow us on Instagram. Oh, Jared usually says this part. At Done with Adulting Pod. Or you can follow us on Twitter at Done W2H Adulting. And yes, we will talk to you guys. Well, I will not be talking to you guys. Jared will talk to you guys next week. Bye, you guys. You guys can say bye.
Oh, bye. Everyone.